and I was horseback riding. I broke my back horseback riding. My whole lifestyle was out of flow. I started to write when I was recovering. I turned in an essay to the Oprah show and I won it, and was asked to come and appear on the show. And then they also asked, could they film at my house? And I told them no. So much out of flow that I kind of missed a great opportunity.
Sometimes we have to miss out on those opportunities to be able to look back and go, yeah, could I have done that differently? All right, here we are back in the studio. And with me, I have Kim Costa. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, Costa is fine. Sometimes if we're in Europe, people will say Costa or other regions.
Shall we pretend?
We answer to both.
Shall we pretend that we're in Europe?
That would be fabulous.
Shall we be really fancy? You could call me Lisa Roche. I'll call you Kim Costa.
Costa. We'd have to put our pinkies out while we sit.
Yes, let's be very, very proper. Kim, thank you so much for joining me here in the studio today at Find Your Flow. I'm very excited to introduce you to listeners because your approach, and here's a little spoiler, but your approach to real estate and creating a home, finding a home. I love that you asked the question, is it time to, what is it, stay, reno, or like buy,
stay,
reno,
or reno?
Stay,
yes.
Go, or reno. I love that because I feel like that's like the questions that I ask myself in my real life. I've moved 10 times, and that is not for a lack of being able to find a home and establish a home. It literally aligns with our growth. So to be able to talk to someone who guides people through this and has a systematic approach that speaks to my heart. So Kim, let's kick this off with just what is your definition of flow? What does that mean to you?
Well, when I'm working, I'm a creative person and at heart, and I have recently, I'd say in the past 10 years, really focused on my creativity. So when I'm writing or producing content or looking at, interior design or a floor plan of a home, I get in flow with that. So much so that I lose all sense of space and time. And I'm in such a happy place. And people might come in and say something to me, and I kind of come out of like I'm coming from another planet where nothing in reality physically around me, I don't see it. It's like a tunnel vision where whatever I'm working on, I'm so immersed in it. That's what I call in flow. And then if something pulls me out of it very quickly, it's almost like I don't want to be pulled out of my flow, because I'm having so much fun or I've got such a thought that I want to finish if I'm writing. So that is flow to me, is just kind of like you're almost like you're using your gifts or the part of your brain that you were made to use. And if you're not in your flow, like I'm not great at technology, I can use a program, but I can't make them talk to each other very well. And I don't get in flow with that. So I think it has to do with whatever gifts you've been giving.
And that you have dedicated your life to living with the gifts and sharing the gifts that you've been given. That is fantastic to me. Let's talk about how you got here doing what you're doing. And listener, you will be taken on this journey with us of self-discovery. When, Kim, your definition of flow, being able to be fully immersed in the gooiness of what it is that you love to do, can you recall a time where you weren't in flow?
Oh, yes, I can. And it's in the book as well. I wrote a book about a little synopsis of my life. Where
there's a plug, everybody. What's the name of your book?
Sorry, Belle. I just was like, but it's, it's the story of when I was not in flow. And I'm a creative person. I was working as an accountant. I did that for 27 years. I am a golfer. I like my feet on the ground, and I was horseback riding. And I broke my back horseback riding because I'm not very good at it, turns out. And I'm an extrovert mostly. And I was living on a farm, lovely as it was, in the middle of nowhere. So like my whole lifestyle was out of flow. So much so that I started to write when I was recovering from my broken back. And I turned in an essay to the Oprah show, the Oprah Winfrey show. And I won it. And was asked to come and appear on the show. And then they also asked, could they film at my house? And I told them no, because I was I was recovering from a broken back. I was in a walker on
Okay.
painkillers, and in pain and not able to take care of the 40-acre farm that we owned and leased. And so I was like, I can't have millions of people in my house like in this shape. So that was so much out of flow that I kind of missed a great opportunity that I would have really enjoyed.
Yeah, sometimes we have to miss out on those opportunities to be able to look back and go, yeah, could I have done that differently? And then it teaches you moving forward how to make decisions that are more in alignment with who you are. How can you honor yourself even when things aren't perfect?
I agree. And then it's amazing how when you do align with who you are and the skills that you can master and helping other people, and then the people around you. So I call that the 4 M's, the myself, mastery, mission, and mate. And so once those are aligned, it's amazing how serendipity takes over and just good things start to happen.
It's one of my favorite words, serendipity. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah. Serendipity and clarity, my 2 favorite words.
Yeah, for sure. So when you think back to the time when you weren't in flow, did you know it? Did you know it at the time? What did it feel like?
I didn't know it before I got hurt. I knew that I was frustrated. I knew that I was driving everywhere because everything was far away and I was getting worn out and exhausted. But I am a doer and what everybody in my area, my home was beautiful and the horses are beautiful and they're just such lovely creatures that I still love them to this day. So there was so much to like about the lifestyle I was living. So I was just trying so hard to do what I thought I should be doing that I don't think I recognized until I hurt myself how out of alignment I was with my true self.
Man, I can absolutely identify with that. I think a lot of listeners can. I call that the being sidelined, getting knocked down, and
literally
literally. Yes. I too suffered a spinal injury that took me out for a good 9 months of my life. And it sucks. I mean, it really does. It sucks. However, it does give you this pause on life. Like the world stops and you have no choice but to surrender into, all right, what is happening? Who am I? Where am I headed? You start to really, once you get past like the mourning of, this is what I used to be able to do, this is what my life is like, and now all of a sudden I'm just sort of a lump here, not able to do much of anything.
Yeah, trying to
recover.
recover.
Once you mourn that, you go through this like grieving period.
Yes.
You really do awaken into this, okay, could this be an opportunity? How can things change? I love that. I love that. The knockdown is horrific, but the awakening and the that welcoming into possibility of something more and into that creative space of what can it be? Ooh, that feels hopeful. That feels kind of nice. And the sun is finally shining on me again. Take me through that. How long were you in the period of grieving what used to be? And what did you do? I know the whole PT for the whole spine and all the things. What was it? How were you able to put the pieces of your life back together again to start creating this new, live your wheelhouse? Like, let's get into that.
Well, it did take a while to recover physically. And then also mentally, like you said, there was a grieving process because I wanted that farm to work for my family. I wanted it to work so well. And it was not, the dream that I had hoped that it would be. It ended up being a dream for another family that is lovely, and I still know them today, but it wasn't meant for us. And I think that it was just a lost opportunity type thing that I had to grieve. But just like I did physically, step by step, like I had a walker and I was just step by step trying to drive my car again and walk down to get the mail, which was like a quarter of a mile. And I think it took me 2 years to jog again, to just actually be able to run.
Yeah.
And so, but what you don't think about is the mental part. It changes you when you kind of have a dream that suddenly gets taken away like that. But it really forces you to look at, in my case, why am I able to walk again? I'm not supposed to walk. I was never supposed to walk
Right.
again. And so what is in store for me? Like, I really need to make the most of this because I am able to walk, and I ran 2 half marathons. They told me not to, but I had to. So,
Good for you.
but I'm good now. So I'm a walker now. I love to walk.
I'm a walker too.
And a
I've
yogi
never been
and
a
all
runner, but God bless you marathoners. My husband's a marathoner. Our daughter's a marathoner.
I'm not supposed to do this either. Give me a nice walk by some water. I'm great.
Yes.
But yeah, but I do think the people don't understand the mental aspect of a life-changing event like that. It really makes you take stock. And the funny coincidence, and call it serendipity, if you will, the name of my farm was Clarity Farm. And
it did its job.
Didn't it? And the road it was off was Clarity Road, so we named it Clarity Farm. It was lovely and beautiful, but boy, did it clarify the life I'm supposed to live and the life I'm maybe not supposed to live, and that maybe that farm was meant for somebody else. And it's still lovely to this day, but it just took a little while to process all of that, and so much so that it's still going on today, where it took me about 20 years to develop this whole process and live through it and then start helping other people the same way that it helped me. And so now I feel like I won't say it's been perfected, but I think it's very helpful.
It's extremely helpful. It's extremely helpful.
Yeah, I can't
Now, what we're talking about here, listener, is live your wheelhouse. And first of all, let's listen. I love when you bring science into the creative. I absolutely love that. That's like my nerdy little sweet spot. I adore it. So talk to me about the hierarchy of needs. How does that work into your wheelhouse? And how did all of this come about? So you said that it helped you heal, helped you move on with your life. How did this come about?
So when I decided to change from being an accountant to a realtor and not, to live a more extroverted life from a home that was like closer to people, I decided to figure out what my personality is. And I'm an ENFP, and come to find out that we, we're not the best accountants. We shouldn't, I did it for 27 years, so I did okay. But I always had a headache in the left side of my brain, and I always had a headache. So I was like, oh, well, that's why,
I always
I'm a right-brained person.
Like I always say, there are many things that we're good at.
There are many things we're good at, but what are we excellent at?
That doesn't mean you're supposed to do them. Doesn't mean you're meant to
for
do
8
them.
hours
What
a day.
fills your soul? Exactly.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And headaches, listener, headaches, they're a sign. They're an absolute sign. I mean, within your body, within your mind, within your emotions, within your spirituality, even within your home, your space.
Totally.
Headaches have a lot to tell you. You can learn a lot from your headache.
Yes, totally. Getting back to Maslow's hierarchy. So the way I started to think, so going back to the wheel of life really is when I realized I was an ENFP, I went around the wheel of life, which is like romance, career, finances, family and friends, environment, spirituality. And there's always one more that I can't get to, but there's 8 of them. And so I started grading those from 1 to 10 based on how my life was working in those 8 areas at the time. As I was becoming a realtor, I started doing that. And then I noticed that if one area was down, like I was switching my career, and so my home changed because I needed an office at home. And, et cetera. And then, financially, I was switching careers. So I wanted to scale back and get a small place just to pour all that into my new career. So I found that as my life changed, my home needed to change. And then having a background in human resource development, I'm very familiar with Maslow's hierarchy. It's always been fascinating to me. So from physiological needs, and in your home, that would be like having water, a place to sleep. Can you sleep well? All the physiological things. So it goes from there up through like love and belonging, self-esteem, and then all the way up to aesthetics, which like, Do you love your white countertops, etc.?
Mhm.
So I took that Maslow's hierarchy into each of the 8 areas of the wheel of life to go, okay, like if you have a physiological problem, like if you can't sleep because of noise or airplanes flying over or a barking dog, that's a very low need on the scale. So that needs to be fixed more so than you don't care for the color in your kitchen.
Right.
So
right.
there's a more weighted need the lower that you go on that scale. So in each area, there's a series of questions that people can answer to help them grade each area of the wheel of life to have like you want a wheel that's inflated like a wheel, not a flat tire.
Yes.
Mm.
When I was first starting to learn about Feng Shui, so listener, hi, I'm a Feng Shui expert. And when I was first learning about that, I took a quiz that created a circle, or you hoped to create a circle, and mine looked more like Fred Flintstone's wheel that had been hand chiseled with divots and straight lines, and really like, yeah, I think I'm in need of a little bit of reworking. And and I was like, okay, so this makes sense to me, absolutely. And then I went at it with adding a little bit of, I'm also a Reiki master teacher. So I took all of that knowledge and added that on top of the Feng Shui to be able to create like a new way of living, a completely new way of living. So when I dug into your questionnaire to take a look at the assessment and take a look at what my home is like, I'm happy to say that my score was very nice, even though our house is on the market. Our house is on the market right now, so I'll have to retake it. But tell me how you use this to work with clients, to help clients find their most supportive space. So I am a firm believer, as a Feng Shui expert, I am a firm believer in your home is your biggest advocate for the kind of life that you're going to wind up living. Does it support you? Does it reflect who you actually are? The thing about Feng Shui is that it's really nice when you've got like chaos in one area. You can take a look at your Bagua map and go, yep, that correlates with that area of my life. I'm experiencing chaos in that. And if you go and you clean up that area of your home, you start to see that energy reflect into that aspect of your life. This is what I absolutely love about yours, because it gets down to these like nitty gritty practicality. Who are you? How do you want to be living your life? Where do you want to be living your life? And these are, while they're natural for me and my brain to think of those things, I think about me buying my first house. I didn't consider 50% of what you had on your assessment, right? And like these things, it took probably like our first 3 houses for me to discover, for my husband and I both to discover that maybe we should slow down and really consider how we can support the life we want to live and not maybe accommodate the dysfunction that we are currently living.
That's right.
Can you please help the listeners? Help them figure it out? And what can they do if they're living in a home that's not very ideal? What can they do to make changes to that?
Well, I think the first thing to recognize is sometimes people move for a primary reason, like they're having a baby or another child and they don't have enough bedrooms, or they're getting a dog. Some people do move for their dogs and they want a yard, and it's the whole family thing. People move for a career, so the career is the primary reason. So they know they need to move, but maybe they maybe they wouldn't have moved except for that primary reason. Then once they move, something else kind of falls apart. I know someone who bought a home in South Georgia, very smart lady, lawyer, and she bought it because it had a swimming pool and a great school system. She bought, those things for her kids. But then she had some bad knees, and so she completely ignored her health area when she purchased the home, and her primary bedroom for she and her husband was upstairs. And so she said, I don't know what I was thinking. I bought a home that I can't barely get up the stairs, and if I have a knee replacement, I'll have to sleep on the couch for several months.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, so in my mind, because she had already purchased it and had probably a great realtor, but just never really thought about it. But if you can go through each area, whether you're thinking about, oh, maybe something just feels off in my home, whether you're going to stay and like move some furniture around or turn the living room into an office because you're working at the kitchen counter and then you have to clean up for dinner. It's like, what is causing you stress in your life? And so you gather up all your papers and you put them aside because you got to cook dinner and eat. And then the next day it's like, oh my gosh, what was I even doing? I wish I could have just left these papers where they were on a desk. Something simple like that. You turn the living room. So you might be able to stay and just move the furniture out of a fairly unused living room, make it into an office. That'll solve that problem if the rest of your wheel is pretty inflated. But you might also decide to move. And then in which case, again, you want to go through each of those 8 areas and make sure that you answer the questions going up Maslow's hierarchy for each area as to what's working in your current home versus what would it look like in an ideal home. So even if you're at a 5, 6, or 7 in a certain area in the wheel of life, you could always make that an 8, 9, or maybe even a 10 by making some changes. And if you're moving because of one primary reason and something's like a 6 or 7, there might be something you can tweak in the new home that you hadn't even thought of.
I love that. That whole rethinking the spaces, rethinking the use of the space. I know that 2026 is a time to embrace more wealth, more opportunity, more prosperity, more joy, more happiness, but we sort of have to get it together. So to get us there, I created a program called the Held Container. Let me ask you a question. Does your life work because you feel you hold everything together? You brace for things, you brace for life. If you can say yes to that, then I invite you to pause. Take a breath. The Held Container is a small, intentional program designed to replace bracing with structure so your nervous system can rest and money no longer feels stressful or overwhelming. This isn't about pushing harder, fixing yourself, or doing more. It's about creating safety, stability, support where you've been carrying everything alone. I've opened this program for only 6 people. 6 people who are ready to allow money to feel safe instead of stressful and to experience what it's like to be held by structure rather than pressure. I think we can all identify with that. So if this feels calm instead of exciting, it's not a coincidence. Your system is already responding to the Held Container. Apply now. Apply at nagarelife.com. I hope we get to work together. It's making me remember a home that we had purchased, and the living room and dining room were set up in a very traditional floor plan. And we swapped them because we wanted a bigger dining room. We wanted to be able to have big dinners and fit 2 tables. So we took the living room and we turned it into our dining room. And then the dining room turned into this really cozy space. We put a fireplace in and it became such a cozy space right off the kitchen where the traffic flow in the house completely changed.
Wow.
Completely. The energy in the house completely changed. It became much less cut off and sectioned and became like this very inviting, come in, stay a while. If someone is cooking, the energy flowed. It was just so lovely and so nice. I love that you offer this for people who are looking for a new home because that's the ideal, right? I imagine that that's got to be the ideal timing to go through this.
It would be the ideal timing. And so, for the book itself, you could read the book within 4 days. So you could read it before you go out looking and then not waste a whole day. Either wasting your time and or your realtor, they would be much better prepared to show you the right homes.
For sure.
And not leave anything off the list. The local expert could find the home, or you could do open houses or whatever like that. But I think it would just eliminate a little bit to a buyer's remorse after the fact, which was super high. Like in 2023, 90 to 95% of all buyers had major regrets about their home purchase. 90 to 95%.
Are you serious?
Yes. They chose so quickly.
That's a huge percentage.
Yes. Hopefully it was people buying sight unseen, waiving the inspection, and 5 people bidding on a home. So they were like, we just want it. We just need a home.
What the heck was even happening in 2023?
Well,
to make real estate move that fast.
Super low inventory. So if you really had to move, and people had been stuck in their homes from COVID.
All through COVID,
so anything that was wrong with the home became very evident.
Like a blinking red sign.
Yes. Especially those of us that worked from home. Yeah. And we had those open floor plans, and it was just so loud and everyone was on top of each other. So it brought up any issue there could possibly be.
My God. We were in our home for COVID. And of course, both my husband and I had a studio that I had been running at the time, but that had to close down for a couple of months. And then my husband, he already worked out of the home. So we felt like this is really good. We already figured out the dynamic, because the dynamic changes, and we figured out the zones in the house. And this was a historical Victorian that
lovely.
We had gone in. It was all, you'll appreciate this.
Yes,
story.
I will.
It was all apartments. And we went back in and renovated it, restored it back to a single family home. And we worked with the contractor. It was the best experience. Everybody always talks about what a nightmare construction is. I am telling you, hands down, this was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Wow.
Which was restoring this home, because the contractor was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I know how to take things to studs and then bring it back. I don't actually know what you're talking about. And I was like, we're going to keep as much as we possibly can, flaws and all. I want the character. And at the time, all of the houses in our area, they were being renovated and being made to look very generic with the gray faux wood floors.
Oh,
and
yes.
Everything
Agreeable
was white.
Gray. Or
agreeable gray.
Yeah.
No trim anywhere. So like that kind of stuff breaks my heart. I love all of that character.
Yes.
And we went through that year-long process of restoring the home. So when we were living in it during COVID, I still say this was the best, hands down decision. The architect, the contractor, and my husband all fought me and then convinced me to put pocket doors in between our living room and our dining room. And thank God they did. God, because we had zones and we could close those doors and create quiet spaces so that all the different Zooms could happen.
Yes.
Kids were in class and
oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was lunacy. It was
everything out
lunacy.
Of the home. And you had the flexibility, close them if you want to, but now you could keep them open if you're entertaining or whatever.
And that was their selling point. You could have both, Lisa.
That's right.
Settle down.
That's right.
And I was like, all right, listen, you people don't fight me on hardly anything, so I'll give you this one. And then lo and behold, during COVID, I was like writing my little notes. You were right. I was wrong.
Thank you.
This is awesome. Thank you.
I love it.
But it's one of those things where we had a team able to say, let's think. Think about, yes, I know that your children are a little on the younger side right now, but let's think about them in high school. Let's think about them when they're young adults and they're maybe coming home from college.
Right.
Do you want a quiet area, or do you want to hear that TV all throughout the entire first floor?
Yes.
Do you want to be able to have little areas of quietness where you can have conversations? But meanwhile, somebody else is in another zone in the house and they're getting to do whatever the heck they want to be able to do.
That's right. And they also, as children get older, they don't want to be with you so much. They want to be in the same house as you and kind of come in and out, but they want to be with their friends. And so
for sure,
they almost need a little separate space to kind of start their whole launching process where they know you're close by, and it's great to have the friends over. I always loved having the friends over.
You get to eyeball.
Yes. Yeah. You hear, you see what's going on, you hear, you feel things. And I always love a space where the young adults can gather. Yeah.
And now we're in a phase in our life that, we've only been in this house 9 months. Yeah, we've been in this house 9 months, and it's fabulous for what we've needed. It's fabulous. We have 2 young adult children. We have a 25-year-old daughter and a 22-year-old son.
Mm.
And we all have our areas. We were like very specific when we chose this house. If all of us are here at the same time, that's 4 adults.
Mm-hmm.
4 adults that all deserve their privacy and just chill out areas.
Yeah.
So we chose this house that has 3 floors. We have our bedroom space, which is fantastic. Our son has his bedroom, bathroom, sitting room. That's fantastic. Our daughter has the entire 3rd floor bedroom. It's a suite. Well, she's older. She's the oldest, so she gets.
Yes.
We have so limited time with our kids that we're like, let's just like make little houses inside the house.
I love that idea. That is so perfect.
Ideal. It's perfect.
And you have a space that you can all gather as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
We have a living room where everybody can come and sit on this giant couch and just watch TV all together. We have a beautiful big dining room where we could fit everybody around a table. It's fantastic. We have a smaller kitchen than we had in the house that we had renovated. Mm-hmm. But it's perfect for 2 people to be in there cooking dinner.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets to join in together in these other spaces in the house.
That's so.
And the only reason why we're moving, is because we're going to relocate overseas.
There you go. That's the qualifying factor right there.
Yes. And that kicks off a whole new unknown phase in our life where we are definitively empty nesters. We absolutely only have guests that come and stay, including our kids. They wind up becoming guests. And our plan is to rent and sort of like wade into these waters.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And your book is going to come in really, really handy in trying to establish what is it that we need. What are our requirements for this next phase in our life? Mm-hmm. So I cannot wait. I can't wait to dig in. Live Your Wheelhouse.
Yes.
Now, that's the name of your book.
Yep.
That is the name.
Live in your wheelhouse.
Live in your wheelhouse. Oh, and I love that. I love that so much. It's the name of your book. It's the name of your podcast. And tell me about this TV show. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I did just shoot my first episode a couple of weeks ago. And so it was really fun. I get to write the script and decide what kind of B-roll it's going to take and everything. Sorry?
Are you shooting in Atlanta? You're in Atlanta,
yes,
correct?
Yes. I live in the area of Alpharetta, Milton, and Crabapple. It's like 3 small towns that are cute and like kind of old fashioned. And I live right in the middle of all 3. So I can get to each one within 5 to 10 minutes. So again, being an extrovert, I love the variety. So this little environment that I'm in, that's one of the 8 areas, is perfect for me. And my husband, he's very extroverted as well. I
had gone in as a feng shui consultant on a property in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
That's so much fun.
Fantastic. It's a big city.
Telling me. It is a very big city.
Lots of pockets. I'm on the north side.
I can't even tell you where I was. I don't know. But it was a beautiful property and it was a great opportunity. It was so much fun. Now, what is the name of your show? Where can we find it? Where can people watch?
So the first show will be launching in December, and it's called American Dream TV. And so the episode that I just did was in Crabapple, Georgia, which is like the little, where all those little cities connect that I just talked about. It's called Crabapple. It's like old fashioned and cute.
Yeah, I like that. It's cute.
Yeah. So the show is about positive stories of people in the community that make a difference. Oh. And it's just what we all need, real feel-good stories about people making a difference. Sometimes it's in their home, sometimes it's in their business or a charity that they're running. And so you highlight, their impact on the community and then, how people are benefited by what they do.
Oh, that's fantastic. And
Yeah.
will it always feature people within the area? Is it a
Yes.
local?
It
That's
will always
fantastic.
feature people like within, 10 miles of where I am. I have so many ideas
How
though.
convenient for you.
I've,
Go from driving all,
I,
all over the place
yes.
to within 10 minutes. Come on now.
But
That's
I would
excellent.
love to travel around to people's homes. And I have something called the Wheelhouse Hall of Fame, where
Ooh,
that's if you've like, know who you are, you're helping other people, you've mastered a skill that you're really good at, and you're in that full focus, that flow,
yeah.
like that's what you
Hmm.
do. And then I would love to showcase them in their home and how their home helps them live in their wheelhouse and help other people. So I would
That's a
love to
great
parlay
idea.
off of this local experience and just go around, fly out to interview, a certain person in their home, photograph them or video them with a little interview and just show how the whole thing has come together for them.
Oh, let's make it international. Come on out
Wouldn't
to
that be great?
Ireland.
No, really. I'm
That would be
game.
so much fun.
I'm game. I'll
I
come wherever you
promise
are.
I will do everything you tell me to do.
Yes. Listen, but that's up to you. I'm a generalist asking questions to clarify with you, not for you. Right.
Yeah.
So
So that was another thing that I appreciated.
yeah,
That
it's your decision.
Yeah, you really do guide beautifully. And
Try to.
I know that she's a local Atlanta realtor, but this is anywhere for anyone
It's meant to
all
be
the
that way.
time.
It is.
Yeah.
It is meant to be something you can read or take a workshop or, talk to me personally about, and then use a local realtor who is specific to your area to find exactly what you want.
That's genius.
It's kind of like doing a little homework, and it helps the realtor, make you happy and shortens the buying process and clarifies exactly what you want.
I remember when we went to buy our first house, I was pregnant and hungry all the time. So I brought a cooler of food. And in that cooler was, I remember so vividly, I had a sandwich, a raw red onion, a Granny Smith apple, and a slice of birthday cake. Like that was, and I munched the whole time that we looked at houses. And I kept saying, I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I want. This isn't it. This isn't it. This isn't it. But I didn't have the language to be able to communicate it. And I kept thinking, I'm like my poor dad, who has been a career realtor and a broker. I'm like his nightmare client. I can't seem to get it together.
I can't articulate what I want. Or you just haven't found it yet, maybe. Because sometimes you walk in to a place and it's like, oh, and I can see it on people's faces.
Yeah.
That it's like, wow, this is it. I think I have a really good feeling about this. And then sometimes with clients, they don't say anything, but I can feel like a withdrawal when they're in a home. Because I think each home has a personality, and obviously each person has a personality, and they can't put their finger on it, but something just doesn't feel right to them. And I can feel it.
Yeah.
And they can feel it. And they
When
can't put their finger on it sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
I used to be able to, before we bought our restoration project, we were looking at different houses in the neighborhood. And I remember walking into a house and saying, whoa. And I looked at my dad and I said, you have to find out how many marriages in this house ended in divorce. Because
Really?
I'm telling you right now, this is not good energy for a marriage. And so my dad being like, I mean, okay, Lisa, but he did it. God bless him. He did it. And he was like, I'll be damned. The last 5 marriages, the last 5 sales were all because of divorce. And I was like, yeah, so we're not going back to that one.
Just a bad vibe. You ever see, it's similar to, you ever see a location that a restaurant just never seems to thrive?
It just can't, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Same thing.
I did have somebody, the first home I sold to some buyers, lovely folks. And before we came in, they were downsizing, empty nesters, downsizing to more in-town property, because they didn't have to worry about schools anymore. And it was a really pretty place, very convenient. A lot of great food nearby. Anyway, we walked in and it had been on the market for a little longer, and so I called the agent and I said, we're interested. She said, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just saged the whole place.
I was just going to say that, when you have a property like that, get in there and sage it.
She did. I was like, well,
Yes.
What do you mean you saged it? What are you talking about? And she said, I took the sage and it like gets
Yeah.
rid of any bad juju because it's a beautiful home. I can't explain why. I can't
Yeah.
explain to my sellers why it's not selling is no reason. And so you
Like
you
for
were the first
me,
person in there after I did
yeah,
that. I said, well,
and
it was
there
meant
you
to
go.
be.
And now they want it. So there you go.
We were
But that's
just
a
came in at the right time.
great tip.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's the first step that I do with Feng Shui clients where I'll say, if you're making any changes to your house, go in and sage the entire thing, smudge the entire thing. So you open the windows, you open the doors, and you trace every single room with a smudge stick. Or if you don't like the smell of that, you can spray with a sage spray, go around with a white candle, anything to get the old energy out, invite new energy. And as you're wandering around, you go through the house twice. The first time, you're clearing anything that doesn't serve you. The second time, you're infusing your intentions. I want to live here in peace. I want lots of love. I feel the laughter. I want visitors. You're like whatever it is that you're envisioning.
Wow.
Go through with that intention, and all of a sudden, the home becomes yours.
Well, I hadn't heard of going through twice, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have some sage right here in my drawer. So
Yay!
I need to get that out and do that.
Yay. Like clearly there are certain clients who are called to work with you, and that would be like a nice little housewarming gift. Here you go.
Yes.
Go smudge your house now, because anybody can do that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And a bottle of champagne. Boom. There's your
Yes.
celebration. Here's
Everyone
your clearing.
celebrates in a different way. I've been to so many
Yes,
great
yes.
celebrations. Yes.
Yeah. Well, this was so wonderful.
So
Thank you so
fantastic.
much for telling me all about what you do. I love hearing different ways to start people finding their place in the world. I think having that foundation from which to create your life is fundamental.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for even developing this system. I absolutely love it.
You're welcome.
Can you please remind our listeners where they can find you? And listener, this is directly to you. You can absolutely work with Kim. You can do this and then figure out who you are, what the life you want to live is going to be, and then work with your local realtor to find the house that supports that. So Kim, please, where can people find you?
Sure. Okay. So my website is called Lifestyle Foundations, and it's lifestylefoundations.com. You can get the free lifestyle lift there. And you can also sign up for the pre-sale of my book, which is coming out in March. You could go through the process all on your own. And then on all the socials, I'm Kim E. Costa. So just remember that middle initial and you'll see me on there.
All right. I will put that all in the show notes. Scroll on down, find it all there, click on there. Get in touch with Kim and start creating the life you deserve to live. Thanks so much for being here with me.
Thank you, Lisa. It has been wonderful. This has been a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, that's it, listener. Before you go, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and set your notifications to never miss an episode. If you'd like even more with me, come on over to nagarelife.com. And if you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, go on and share it. Share it with somebody that you think would enjoy it as well. All right. I'll see you next time.